people like it was, in contention. Other people that have placed above him in the past and beat him in the past. So a pretty big victory for him.
Yeah, definitely. I think I was there when he won the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll put a pause on the conversation about Mu² right now. Astewisk versus Chucky. Astewisk, definitely seen him a couple of times on this side of the screen, but the same can be said about Chucky. The crazy things that he goes for with his Ness, I mean, he might not always get the W, but it is rare when he doesn't get the Giffy Cat.
Uh-huh.
That he just has that competitor spirit, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's almost like a play-to-win sort of mentality and versus a play-to-not-lose sort of mentality, which I think is really, really fun to watch. It's definitely the type of competitor I enjoy watching. Let's get into the down and dirty. Off to Smashville we go for game number 1 between Astewisk, who's going to be repping Fox, against Chucky. So, your thoughts on this matchup, first and foremost? Obviously, we're seeing two sides of the cat's soul kind of duke it out, but, but what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, as we can see, right off the bat, Astewisk, a lot of it's very, very difficult for a relatively slow movement character like Ness to catch Fox, but one tool he does have is that dash attack. It will reach so far forward into his opponent's space. A very good way to invade into the area his opponent is trying to slip around and be sneaky with. So that is one thing that Astewisk will have to be looking out for.
Definitely. But right now, we haven't seen Astewisk really use all that quick movement that we're talking about. I love what he did there, though. Jumping previously just to get some better positioning, get by Chucky. But Chucky, again, has the better footing. Astewisk turning the tables a bit. Looking to go maybe make the most of this new Great Gown, but right there, that quick out-of-shield option is going to give him another thing to think about. Ness just is so fast out of shield with those nairs, and Astewisk has to be so careful when he's pulling the trigger on those up smashes. Back throw, and that's going to be stock 1 in this first game.
Yeah, again, a little bit of a misjudgment by Astewisk, going for the run forward shield after the double jab. Yeah, not quite pressuring his opponent. Chucky understanding that there's going to be an opening there for him to grab. But speaking of openings, trying to harass with that OB from off stage, and Astewisk will punish with the up smash KO.
Evening things up, and Astewisk is hoping to utilize the most of Ness's early game presence. Those down throws can be followed up pretty nicely with some forward air strings. See if Chucky can maybe land another grab. No grabs necessary so far. Astewisk's in a tough spot. Makes it back onto the stage, but Chucky is not done with him yet. So far, we haven't seen any offense from Astewisk. Just trying to bide his time here, find a way around those hitboxes that Ness has. Stuffs out the PK Fire, but doesn't get a whole lot off.
Yeah, Astewisk has been getting a lot of good random hits, but hasn't been getting really long strings, which is one thing that Fox is, that's one of Fox's strengths for sure. He puts out a lot of damage whenever he gets his combo game going. But yeah, so far Astewisk has been getting quick 1-2 hits. Hasn't been getting any throws into stuff. Hasn't been getting any really good up tilts. And you can see in the damage output that Chucky is, they're hitting each other about the same amount. It's Chucky is getting more damage.
Exactly. The little wins that Chucky gets in neutral, he carries for so much more. Maybe Astewisk might have some answers here. Almost was able to net a pretty sizable win if he had just landed that forward air, but comes up a touch short. Again, the nair coming into play. Astewisk has not found a good answer for that yet. Previously, running up and shielding just led him to get grabbed. He's going to need to figure out what else he can do in this matchup.
Yeah, scary times for Astewisk now. And he really well-positioned back throw will be in a finish stock with the back air also will be quite enough. Catching him out of that missed forward air.
And that's so sad to see that Astewisk's reluctance to overextend was really what cost him in so many of those moments, right? Even when he ran up and shielded trying to deal with the out-of-shield nair from Chucky.
Yeah,
or
he
even
got snatched up.
Yeah, even there, I thought he may have had an up air opportunity.
Possibly.
Doesn't go for it. Instead, keeps his feet planted, maybe waiting for an air dodge. And Chucky says, how about I come in with an offensive option because it's just been working this entire time.
Yeah, rough stuff. That is, the natural inclination is, whenever you try to, he got the double jabs and, didn't quite get the follow-ups. He kind of got punished for it afterwards. The natural inclination after that is, play a little bit safer. But still, trying to play safe like that also made it so his reward was not quite as high.
Well, let's talk about some of the rewards he might be getting now that he is switching things up to this Marth.
I really like the Marth pick for his play style. Because Marth, is in general a very safe spacer. Doesn't really take huge risks in neutral. Just kind of pokes at his opponent. And I feel like that is a lot closer to how Astewisk has been trying to play.
Yeah, I don't see him as the type of player, especially in that last match, to be the one who's dictating the pacing, really trying to put the pressure on, right? I see him being a bit more of that reactive style, and Marth, I think, aids very well to that play style. But one thing he has to be so cautious of, he's getting off of the ledge so many times, and that time it's really going to cost him. The PK Fire, I think he didn't have a jump in that situation, and Astewisk is going to go down before the minute marker even comes through.
Yeah, big damage from Chucky going to be coming through with this down throw. Okay, I like the footstool, just getting on stage. But he's got a lot of work to make up for.
Dancing Blade. And now we're seeing Astewisk really using that disjoint that Marth possesses to tack on that extra damage. Wow!
Counter?
If he actually does walk away with the stage spike.
Nice.
Chucky may have predicted something like the counter and maybe wanted to go
Yeah.
for an awkward angle to avoid it, but it ended up actually being the final nail in the coffin. Astewisk turning the tables on Chucky, but Chucky is still holding on to an over 60% lead.
Okay, yeah, does manage to slip on stage. This is a chance for Astewisk. Marth does have like the KO power necessary to bring this back. One really well-spaced chip at smash. I think with that charge neutral B, you know, he can definitely bring this back if he gets the momentum in his favor.
He's going to need to keep doing what we've seen from him before, playing patiently. If he swings a bit too early, it'll give Chucky the opportunity he needs to close this series out. Great patience is going to be rewarded. Chucky has been playing offense, but might have to be incorporating some more defense as we get into the final moments of this second game. Forward air will be sending Chucky off stage. Astewisk going deep, and that's a huge punish. He failed to sweet spot the ledge there, and it cost him everything, especially after making such a sizable comeback.
Yeah, like that definitely, he could have brought that back. One more solid hit. Did a really good job. I think the one thing to point out, one of the reasons why he had such a good comeback, he's doing a really good job using the jabs and side Bs to just control all of the space around him. Because the Marth jab is such a good, just like, don't come into my space tool. And like, anything that your opponent tries to do is going to get beat out by that, unless they're already point blank on top of you. And, you know, with the buffs Marth's gotten to his jab, you know, leading into the forward airs, gets really big damage off of it. Can be a very difficult thing for any character to deal with, and especially, you know, Ness has got kind of stubby hitboxes. I'm pretty sure even his forward air, like as disjointed as it is still going to get beat up by that Marth from max range.
At the end of the day, he's still a little kid.
He's still a little kid.
A grown man with a sword.
sword.
It's a bad matchup. I mean, I don't know how the matchup actually is, like on paper and whatnot, but
sounds bad. Little kid versus grown man with a sword.
Yeah, it sounds pretty bad.
I don't care if you're psychic. All right, I think I'm going to go play some of my singles matches. I'll probably be back on later on.
All right, well, take care. Best of luck.
Thanks.
Crush it in bracket. Thanks again for tuning into another Shockwave, DFW's premier Smash 4 Weekly. Yeah? Is that possible? Okay. Welcome back. I don't think I've ever commentated with you, now that I think about it. This is a first.
It's a very good first.
Gibby on the mic, how are you, sir?
Doing just fine. About yourself?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. How was that Austin cider that you had yesterday?
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Did you get another one?
I only got one.
You only got
I mean,
one.
I kind of had to drive back home,
Yeah,
so I didn't want to
understandable.
get like two esports to